Well, the short-term patterns were looking a little more bullish for Rio during our last review. Really, that came on the back of this impulsive movement high from the late December 2011 high. So a nice impulsive movement up to this wave 1 or A high. So the ideal situation from there was to see an ABC correction to the downside. So our last review was just in this region right here. So we were rotating down toward this typical retracement zone. The problem being, in fact, there are two problems here. First of all, the retracement has been deep, so we have probed quite significantly through this 61.8% retracement level, and this movement to the downside really isn't a typical ABC correction. We could really stretch the boundaries of what's acceptable and suggest that we've seen a wave A, a wave B and a wave C, but two things to consider. First, in terms of time, this bounce really hasn't met the minimum requirement, only a couple of bars, and it's also been a very shallow retracement. So this is definitely looking more impulsive in nature, and we also have to take into consideration that this prior pivot low, albeit quite significantly below the more typical target area, is being approached again. If this prior pivot low is breached over the coming days, then really this wave count comes under some serious pressure, and it's more likely that we're going to see a much larger flat correction, which means we're going to retest this $60 region, where we do have this line or zone of support running through here in this general region. So unlikely that we're going to get a deeper retracement. That said, the 50% retracement level of the much larger pattern, like we've been pointing out in recent reviews, does sit slightly beneath these levels. So it isn't a requirement to hit that general region, but much is going to depend on what transpires in this $60 region. If the buyers that stepped up to the plate in here fail to do so again, and we do see an impulsive movement down, then we are going to see that larger 50 to 61.8% retracement level tagged. So we'll just have to see what transpires. If the broader market rolls over and gets in corrective mode again, then it's certainly feasible that these significant lows are going to be penetrated, but pretty much like BHP as well as Rio shown here, there's a decent line of support running through there, so it would take something quite significant in terms of a market correction to get down through these levels. To move to a more bullish stance over the short term, I'd want to see at least a probe above this prior pivot high, and in reality, to move to a more bullish proposition over the longer time frame, we need to see this resistance around this $76, $77 region penetrated. So plenty of work to be done before getting anywhere near those levels. At this point in time, we're basically meandering sideways within this trading range. What's that, around $73, $74 down to $60, and that could well be the main theme over the coming months ahead.